Are you enjoying yourself?
Straight down there, guys. We've actually got someone going underneath us there. There goes Lulu. And Bruce has just gone off the other way, so a different direction. First thing we're going to do while we're here, guys, is play a bit of word association. You know the game? You say one word and then you just say the next word that pops into your head. So if we say shark, what do you think of?
Bite.
Bite. Eels?
Probably the worst thing.
Teeth. Danger. Eagle.
Right.
Yeah, the ideas we have about sharks are quite interesting. Now, all these good things, where have you heard them from?
Jaws.
Yes. Now, knowing what we don't know about Hollywood, how accurate do you think that movie is?
Pretty accurate.
Rarely accurate.
Yeah, 99% real.
Yeah. Now, we do have some quite interesting ideas about sharks, but I'm going to introduce you to some friends of mine. Now, this is the biggest tank that we have. It's the Great Barrier Reef tank. Holds about 2 million litres of water and roughly 60 different kinds of fish, but there's also 7 sharks in here altogether and 3 different species, so we should spot all of them eventually. That's the black-tip reef shark right there, so it's the smallest one we've got in this tank. And coming underneath us in a second, gonna have one of the lemons again. So this is Bruce. He's the, Lulu. She's the biggest fish in the tank. So she's a female lemon shark.
Hey, listen, Jim.
Strange white thing we're going over right now is part of our vacuum cleaner system. They're cleaning some of the tanks at the other side over there at the moment. And you notice the fish are starting to follow us. Because they know what happens next. They're very well trained, these fish. Okay. Now they follow us for a good reason, but before we feed the fish, we're going to play a bit of a game with them first. So while you're still sitting down, if you just want to twist around to have a look over the side of the boat. Notice that when you lean out to see them, the fish get a little bit outside. You can use from now then we'll work it out when you lean into the water, then you get a big wave out of the boat, so the fish, big wave, and then the water.
Is there blood on my side? I don't want to know.
If any of you have ever kept goldfish, you know exactly what this smells like.
Oh.
It's not very appetizing to us, but they seem to love it. Same principle as goldfish, we're just going to grab a pinch each, really decent pinch. Just shake off the excess, because if you get this on yourself, you'll probably smell for the rest of the day, so hold on nice and tight. We're going to count to 3, then we'll all throw it in at the same time. So if you want to grab some and pass it along.
No. Look at them all. No, one of them was actually on the side. I tipped it over. Yep.
Alrighty, so on the count of 3, we're going to throw this over the side. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, jump on in.
Stop looking at them.
And once that happens to the palm, this will just a minute. There you go, next.
I thought my fish was nice. Like hundreds of them.
Alright, so that's the fish feeling very excited about this. Have you been wondering why the sharks aren't chasing the fish? Since we know that that's what they eat. I'm going to show you, just have a look down the middle right there. Through the center. Now watch what happens to the fish if they get any kind of shock or surprise at all. Just watch what they do. Watch it. They go very, very fast. Try it one more time, just keep watching them. many times in a row they stop responding altogether. But you get the idea, they're very quick. So that's the main reason why the sharks don't eat them all. Number one, the fish are very fast. Number two, the sharks are very lazy. Now it's the same principle with a lot of large predators. If you think of lions or tigers, they're not going to chase the strongest, healthiest animals because it takes so much more energy to catch those ones. So they're usually looking for the easiest meal possible. So something very young, very old, weak, slow, injured, something they don't have to work for quite so much. That's really what we're all looking for. Hence microwave dinners and home delivered pizza. So when we do feed these guys every day at 11 o'clock in the morning, it's just with a mixture of dead fish scattered from the surface of the tank. So when they've got the choice of eating the dead one that's just sitting there or actually having to chase their own lunch, they just use these brushes. And if the live fish in here do get a little bit too old and slow, then yes, they do become part of the food chain too. That's just how it works. And that's exactly how it's supposed to work. Having the bigger predators at the top of the food chain, getting rid of the weaker, slower ones, keeps the rest of the population in check. Make sure only the strongest and healthiest survive. It's a very important thing for them to do. So assuming the sharks swim so calmly and peacefully it's really not what we expect. Because everything that we've heard from Hollywood and newspaper activity tells us that every shark is a giant monstrous killing machine that eats everything that moves. I hope everything gets exaggerated from time to time. When they tell us scary stories about big monstrous sharks, what they keep forgetting to mention is there's about 400 other kinds. It's a very large group of animals. Do any of you know which is the largest shark in the world? Whale shark, yes. Yeah, usually people see to say great white. That's got the biggest teeth. But yeah, the whale shark is the biggest shark in the world. It's about 12.5 meters long, which is about the size of a bus. But it eats tiny things like plankton, krill, fish eggs. It's not dangerous to humans at all. And the smallest shark in the world is called a pygmy dogfish. They get about 20 centimeters long as adults and live in very deep parts of the ocean. So that one's not going to hurt you either. And out of all those different kinds of sharks, even for the ones that do hunt for large prey like seals, walrus, turtles, they're never looking for humans. And as much as we love going to the beach, we might get there maybe 4 or 5 times a year if we're lucky, maybe once a year if I'm lucky. We're not a normal part of the ocean ecosystem, we're not a normal part of the ocean food chain. So if a shark in the wild ever sees or tastes a human being, it'll probably be the weirdest thing it's ever felt in its life. We're just not something usual to them. And for all that fear that we have of sharks, for a lot of the unfortunate fatalities from sharks, it's not usual that the humans actually eat it. It's usually due to the lacerations and the blood loss. Because what the sharks do is a test bite. They see something strange, they're unsure of what it is, they go up, check it out, see what it is, realize how much they can feel, so that can make them away, but some of them have very big teeth that tends to make a mess of it. And that's the other thing. Humans on surfboards not only look a little bit like a seal from underneath, they look like a slightly demented, easy to catch seal. So that doesn't really help us much either. But for all that fear that we have of sharks, it's been built up over a very long period of time. It's rather interesting because there's a lot of other animals that we have to deal with. Who thinks that horses are nice? Horses, very cute, kind of easy gorgeous, we all love them. They kill more people per year than sharks do. Saltwater crocodiles kill more people per year than sharks do. Hell, even bees kill more people per year than sharks do, yet we just don't fear them quite as much. And statistically, the sharks only kill about 6 humans a year worldwide. Last year it was only 4. And compare that to other numbers like 19 people die each year from being struck by lightning, about 13 people die every year from having vending machines fall on top of them, and at least one teenage boy dies about every 2nd year from using too much deodorant in an enclosed space. So we have a lot more to worry about than sharks. If you want something really dangerous, this is one of these behind the steering wheel of the car, and the rest of the car. There's so much news about the sharks, and yet we really need to find out as much as we can because they are disappearing very, very quickly. And it's very hard to find a way to explain it without getting incredibly depressed myself, actually. But for all the industry in the world, I mean, the commercial fishing these days is done on a huge scale. And back in the days when it was rod and reel, then that was fine. They weren't killing that many animals. But these days they drag huge nets through huge parts of the ocean, and it's all disappearing. And the other sad thing is the illegal fishing is probably what's the worst. Because if you're looking for a quick profit, you can either deal drugs or deal shark fins. It creates a huge amount of money. A lot of smaller countries, their economy relies on it, and it's run by the mafia. It's very hard to combat that sort of stuff. But for all these beautiful animals, lovely sharks, minding their own business, they're, being killed in their millions for all their things. Which doesn't even taste good, which is even stuff a good thing. Yeah. So 4 humans a year versus 100 million sharks per year, I don't think we're really winning that battle very well. But we're out on the bottom, we're on the wrong side.